setting up meeting for custom streaming. So you know I'm out my league right now. I'm out my lane.
Oh, me too, brother. You know, I just follow good directions, man. That's it.
Yeah, but like I said, I guess we got some audio. So as soon as I get some video, because I need to see the golf attire. How are you making out with the
COVID
pandemic, the situation, everything that's going on in the world? How are you making out down there?
I'm good, man. Charlotte's good.
All right, I got you. Can I see your
You
face?
got me?
Can you click on your video?
You have to click
on your.
I thought I did already.
All right, for some reason I don't have.
Oh, I see right now. Okay, I got you.
I don't have your face in the place.
Okay.
There you go.
You got it?
Yeah, I got you. There you go.
What the hell going on?
Hey man, you know, I don't need any.
You still got me? Mine went out.
What happened?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you clear with the lilac on.
I lost you though. Let's see, hold up.
Try to work it out. You doing 18 today?
Maybe 36. Hold up. Oh no, I did something. Can you still see me? I messed
Yeah, I can
up.
see you. I got you loud and clear. You even
You
got
me?
You got the Big John little white stuff on the left side.
What's that? This?
You got me? You see, I got my little.
Can't see you now for some reason. I don't know what I did. Take a look at it. One second.
You might have your video stopped. Hello, I'm Gene.
Hey, we can't see you. Hi.
All right.
Launch meeting. No.
It
don't. No worries.
What's at the bottom?
I know.
Stuff at the top.
I know what he's looking. I know what he looks like.
You like me? No worries. Let's just push it.
Yeah. No worries.
What about this video down here?
Well, right here. Okay, hold on.
Oh,
I got you.
You got me?
Yeah.
See my little koofy.
Boy, some things never change.
I have nothing right here, Sleep. I have nothing left.
How's the family? Good?
Family's good, man. You know, I got a new addition.
You told me.
Yeah, May 12th. So I got a newborn in the building. Another potential Hoya.
Yes.
Yeah.
We gotta send as many as we can there.
So
gotta train them up though.
So
Can't
check
be
this
soft.
out. So check this out. The Hoya Locker Room is something that I just pulled out of thin air, man.
I figured that.
And and I'm saying to myself, how can I help Patrick in a way that connects the past to the future?
Right.
Because clearly it's a 360 move, him coming all the way back.
Yeah.
So for me, I just feel like the Hoya story is long. There's a thread between all of us. And some of these stories I think will help in the momentum of being a positive family, that Georgetown family that when I got there, that morphed me and that consumed me.
Yes.
You're the perfect person, man, because I want to talk about your first 2 years, because I know your last 2 years because I was there.
That's right.
I want to talk about your first 2 years and how'd you get connected to the program? You know, who were your models there that kind of gave you what you needed to, because when you think of Georgetown Hoyas, you think about Sleepy Floyd.
Right.
Good, bad, or indifferent. So I want to go back to kind of when you were at Hunter Huss.
Right.
And Gastonia, North Carolina. How'd you get to Georgetown? What was that journey like? What it meant to you the first 2 years?
Right. Well, the road to get there was interesting because, you know, obviously, like you just mentioned, I went to Hunter Huss High School in Gastonia, North Carolina, for people out there who don't know. Right outside of Charlotte, about 30 miles outside of Charlotte. Quick drive, you know, like driving to Prince George's counties up there from 14th Street, you know what I mean? So, so the journey was interesting. You know, Coach Thompson never saw me play in high school. I was playing in a North Carolina East-West All-Star game that they have up in Greensboro. And really, I had verbally acknowledged my interest to Duke and Florida State and some other schools. So Big House Gaines from Winston-Salem State, who Coach Thompson was, very good friends with. They had a relationship, from years past, being two African-American legendary coaches, obviously coach at Georgetown, but Big House Gaines at Winston-Salem State, just on the same level. Recognizable African-American legends in the business. So I got MVP at the East-West All-Star game. Your boy Blaylock was in there.
Blaylock was in the game?
Yeah, from East Forsyth. He was one of the All-Stars. That's how we became friends, believe that.
Okay.
So I ended up getting MVP. Big House Gaines called Coach Thompson and said, hey, I got this skinny kid down here. He hadn't signed yet. You need to come down here and see him before he signs.
Why hadn't you signed yet?
I was still going through that process. I had a couple other visits that I was going to take, and Big House Game reached out to Coach Thompson and said, hey, you got to check this kid out. He's the real deal. And I got a call from Georgetown. Didn't know anything about Georgetown. I had seen him on TV because we had the old antenna on our TV. If I turned it just right, I could get the games. You have to bend it around, So I knew the school, but I didn't know the history, the academic level that Georgetown was. I just didn't know a lot of the history, because the history, although it was established in the DC area, it wasn't national yet.
Right.
I get a call, and Coach Thompson and Mary Friendly comes down to the gym. I work out in every day, pick up games. Coach Thompson walks in and watched me play for 10 minutes and walked out the gym. I'm thinking, man, I must have really sucked.
Messed up.
You didn't want to see it, right? Sit there, came all the way from DC and walked out of the gym in 10 minutes. And, I kept playing. And, a couple hours later, he was standing outside when I left the gym. He said, look, I want you to come up to visit Georgetown.
Okay.
It was as simple as that. I still wasn't sure. So I took the visit. Well, really, I took the visit because my sister was going to Howard University at the time.
Okay.
So, we didn't have any money back then. So I'm like, it's a free trip to DC.
Got it.
I get to see my sister at Howard. And I'm gonna come back and I'll sign with whoever I choose to sign with. So when I got up there, he just blew me away, and, he made such an impact on me.
Who was your host? Who was your host on
John
campus?
Bebe Dorn was my host.
Well, it
So
was
Bebe,
yeah.
So Bebe telling me, yeah, young fella, I'm the boss on this campus. I'm the, Bebe. He's like, country fella, if you come up here, we'll take care of you. But it's my show and Big Sky Shelton's show, and we the leaders of the team, and I just listened to him. I didn't say much. I just listened to him talk.
Did the DMV basketball mean anything to you?
DMV?
Yeah, the ball players in DC,
No.
Did that mean anything? Okay.
No.
On your level, no. You wanted to play against the best.
Yes. Yeah. So Bebe, was showing me around and, giving me that talk, and I'm just listening, and I end up talking with Coach Thompson. And he really impacted me. He sit me down and say, hey, we ain't gonna give you nothing. You have to earn everything you get.
Right.
What you gonna do? What's your decision? We're sitting in his basketball office. I said, give me the paper, I'm ready to sign.
Got it.
Because he was such a straight shooter. It was no BS.
No BS.
I ain't gonna give you nothing. You got to earn everything you get. And what you gonna do?
Right.
I said, give me the paper, I signed. Now, when I got back down here, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina now. But when I got back from DC, I caught a lot of flack because some universities thought I had verbally committed. But after meeting Coach Thompson, you know how Coach Thompson is. And, he was such a straight shooter. And obviously, I knew he was going to challenge me. And that's kind of how I got there. That's the short of the story. The Big House Games was really the arbitrator in getting me, up to Georgetown. Otherwise, Coach Thompson would have never known about me.
So first year freshman, 79, that would be 79, 80, right?
Yes, yeah.
So they had a decent run in 78, 79 before you got there, but they were still
Yes.
playing in the ECAC, right?
Yeah, ECAC, Eastern
So-
Athletic Conference.
So your first year was the inaugural season of the Big East? Is that?
No, I played ECAC the first year.
Okay, what was that
Sophomore,
like?
we went to Big East.
What was that
1980.
like, freshman playing in ECAC?
It was awesome, man, because even before that, what's the summer league that was so powerful back in the day?
Urban Coalition.
Urban Coalition. We played that. Let me go over that first. And that's when I was introduced to DC Town.
Okay.
You know, the Graham brothers, Ernie Graham and his brothers, and you know, so many DC legends. I can't remember all the names now, but some of the Al Dutch, you know, some of the legends of DC. You know, everybody played Urban Coalition.
Adrian Dantley.
Oh yeah, Adrian. There you go, Adrian
Dudley
Dantley.
Bradley.
All the Bullets at the time, Dudley Bradley. All the Bullets played in the league. People coming in from New York, all over the country to play in the Urban Coalition. I know they talk about the league up in New York, but the Urban Coalition was the real deal.
Was the ball.
And I remember playing against the Graham brothers, one of my first games, and I dropped like 30. They're like, man, who the hell is this skinny country dude, man? Who is this kid? You know, but I loved it, man. The gym was packed. It was a hot box, competitive, you know, not for the faint of heart.
No, not for the faint of heart.
You got to come with it. And I think the Urban Coalition is when I initially got the respect from Coach Thompson.
Okay.
You know, it got to the point where he said, I don't want you going back over there. Don't go back.
You sure? I want to keep you a secret.
Yeah. He
You
said,
went from Sleepy Floyd to Secret Floyd.
yeah. He said, I played maybe 2 games in the Urban Coalition, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then that summer we did an all-star game in Arizona where they brought all the top players.
Okay.
Me, Hancock, we went out there because we were the freshmen. And Fat Lever from California,
Okay.
some of the great NBA players were out there, and we were just young, right out of high school. And I ended up getting MVP of that. Mike Riley was the coach.
Okay.
And Mike Riley told me the story. He said he called Coach Thompson after a few games and said, Coach, this guy can shoot. I ain't seen it. He said they had Derrick Jackson before me.
Exactly.
He said he shoots from half court. He's coming up, just letting it go. Got MVP in that game. So that was kind of like.
So the cat was out the bag.
Yeah, it was out.
It was out the bag.
So we get to Georgetown freshman year, and one of our first practices, you know, we run the mile up top.
Mhm. I remember that bow.
Right. So the mile, let me go back to the mile, because I used to run a mountain hill crawl called Crowder's Mountain.
Okay.
Up and down twice, no problem. I was in such good shape back in the day. So we had this mile to run, and I had been practicing running the Potomac River every night. So we had a minute. I don't know what it was, 5 minutes for guards, whatever.
Yeah, I think I was.
But something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So
whatever it was, I'm gonna jump ahead. Whatever it was, you crushed it.
I crushed it. I ran it so fast, Gene, that Coach Thompson was sitting in his chair with his stopwatch. I was the first one past the line. He said, everybody made it but Sleepy. Now I came in first. And last time I was with him, I brought that back up to him. But
I'm sure you did.
yeah. So he said, well, you get 30 seconds rest and we're going to cut the time shorter. I said, I don't want 30 seconds. I'm ready now. I don't need 30 seconds.
I don't need it.
I don't need it. Run it.
Killed it.
Make the time. Go downstairs to practice. I fainted. Because I put so much into that, running it twice. And so then I remember him after that. He said, everybody went down. He's a straight shooter. He said, look, the first meeting, him like telling you what role you're going to play, where I see you on the team. So he was like, well, Bebe Duran and Craig Shelton are All-Americans. They're the leaders of the team. Everything goes through them. Then you had Steve Martin and Al Dutch and, Big Tommy Skates, who we love to death. And this is just the hierarchy. That's how it goes. And I'm just sitting there and I just said to myself, I'm not a role player. I never told him that, but in my mind, I'm listening to him talk. And I'm just, not in a cocky way, not, I was so confident that I'm like, all right, you don't tell Coach Tom, you got to show him. You know what I mean? You can't talk about, I should be playing and you better get on the court.
Party. It's not that kind of party.
Yeah, it ain't that kind of party. You got to prove it. And so I think after a few practices, he realized, because he's still at that point, and he really never saw me play. Other than the Urban Coalition, he did see that, but, not in a real formal way.
Right.
And then after that, it kind of took off. But freshman year was tough, man. Coach Thompson was very challenging. A lot of players could not deal with, the intensity. Verbally, he cut you no slack, because he was building for the future. He was wanting some tough guys, as you know. And, he was going to separate the men from the boys, so to speak.
When did you know freshman year, what game sticks out to you when you said, okay, I'm going to own this?
First game we played Maryland at University of Maryland. They had the Graham brothers and all of them my freshman year. And that game there, I knew I had like 28 points my first game. And first time we had beat Maryland in years.
In a minute.
Because Maryland was dominating Georgetown over the years. Although we had some great players before me, a lot of great Bebe and Al Dutch, and we're talking about some legendary history there, out of the DC area. And so it was the first time we really started getting the upper hand on Maryland.
Okay.
So I think that game kind of established in my mind, and I really didn't think anything of it until I got back to campus and everybody was coming by my room and, congratulating me. And so it really, at the arena, it didn't really dawn on me.
Right.
Like, oh man, I just did this thing. We just beat Maryland, because I didn't really know all the history at that point, between Lefty and Coach Thompson, that kind of the relationship they had as far as recruiting in the area. So it was a lot of history that I wasn't aware of, until learning afterwards.
Right.
You know what I mean? So people were coming up to my dorm room, oh man, you had 28 points and this, that, and the other. And that's when it hit me. I said, I guess I did something good. You know what I mean? I just didn't look at it like that until I started hearing other people talk about it.
So freshman year, postseason, ECAC playoffs.
Right.
First round or second round? How did you?
First round, I think we played Iona or somebody like that. They had Jeff Rulin and not Jeff Rulin. I can't remember the players, but Iona was a tough match.
I don't expect you to remember the players, Sleep.
Yeah. St. John's was the real deal.
Yeah, real deal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Reggie Carter and
Wayne Embry.
Wayne McCoy.
Wayne McCoy. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh my God. They had a
the reason why I asked you about postseason, and again, we're obviously gonna get to the 2 years I balled with you, but you're such a winner. Like that take your individual talent aside for a second. Your competitiveness, your winning at all costs, that's your mentality, right? That comes through. So the reason why I asked you about the postseason, freshman year was getting a taste of the postseason. Like, did you notice, okay, I'm really good here, but then when I get on the next level, the postseason, I get even better. Because you were were you a clutch player in high school as well?
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out, your DNA is clutch.
Yeah. That's just how I was brought up, and growing up in Gastonia, we had I grew up with James Worthy, and I grew up together in Gastonia, North Carolina. So we all grew up together, and that's all we did, sun up to sundown, Gene. We didn't have computers and Zoom, and you got outside and you played ball and you competed. And I was fortunate enough to play against a lot of older guys that were pretty good players, and in order to stay on the court, you had to win. And I think that came from that. You know what I mean?
But postseason,
postseason,
yeah, you turned into a different cat.
Yeah. Postseason is just all focused. You so detail oriented. And the way coach prepared us to get ready. I mean, to me, the games were easy. The practices was the most difficult. Yeah. Oh, it was a beast. You talking about fights and oh my God, the games were easy. Coach Thompson had such tough practices.
I love being on the white team.
Yeah.
The blue team, you can make no mistakes.
Right, yeah.
The white team was the second team for our listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
The blue team, you had to be on point. So I could cheat on defense. I
right,
could fly.
Yeah. That's true. That's so true. That's right. I forgot about that. And but the postseason, to me, again, it was the easy part. The practices was the most challenging. We used to go to practice, you had to be mentally prepared. Man, how am I going to get through this practice? Going through all the different drills and 2-on-2s and, I really look forward to practice almost more than the games because they were so competitive. I don't know how it was at other programs.
Right.
As and everyone know that it was there in our era, man, it was a beast. Practice was a beast.
So I'm gonna jump back for 1 second, real quick. Because when I walked in the room as a freshman, I'm coming in different than you. But I walked in the room and I just looked for the older cats. So I looked at what the older guys were doing because that's kind of how the program was formulated.
Right.
Like we have a culture here.
Yes.
Like we do things a certain way.
Yes.
You may not like it. Chances are you're not going to like it because you're 17 years old, but I'm not here for you to like me. Right. We're here to graduate and win and win championships, right?
That's it.
So when you first got there, who were you checking for to find out? Because obviously you started from the rip.
Right.
So already cats are like, okay, this dude's a freshman, but he can play, but you were still carrying the bag.
Oh yeah, the Gatorade. Yeah. Still had to carry the Gatorade, the bags and all of that.
Dropping 28, but you had to carry the Gatorade.
Hey man, you got to carry the Gatorade, the bags, and whatever you had to do as a freshman. But Bebe, he was the leader of the team, but Big Sky was a quiet leader. His work ethic was second to none. I mean, this guy played the same way in games and practice and pickup or one-on-one. So what I would do, Gene, I sought out Big Sky and played one-on-one against him. Before you got there, I was playing one-on-one against Big Sky before practice. And he was destroying me, because he could jump over me. You had to go to the lab to get. Man,
putting it on you.
People who know, and DC knows the history of Big Sky Shelton, legendary. And so I was, I played a lot of one-on-one against Bebe, strong, and made me a better ball handler, leaning on you. And we used to go down to boys club number two in that little gym and play. And playing against Kevin Porter and all these great guards in that little hot box, you got to know, handling the ball, getting beat on. So not only at Georgetown, but just having an opportunity to play against, the bullets, the pros when I got up there, which I really didn't have opportunity to do in Gastonia, North Carolina. And that's kind of what I said, man, I can play against these guys. I might be better than some of these guys. In my head, in my mind, I thought that even if it wasn't true, you know what I mean? So yeah, but I looked up to Bebe and Big Sky and obviously.
So sophomore year, baby.
Yeah.
NCAA 1980, baby. We up against Iowa.
Yes. We're
looking for that first Final Four. Man. What was the mood like in the locker room? Because you had beat them that year already, right?
Yeah.
You beat them that year.
Yeah.
What was the mood like in the locker room? And then what was the mood like after? How'd you feel after?
Yeah, they didn't really have dogs like we had. Like, they were a nice team out in Iowa. We got these dogs in the locker room, and we felt we were going to beat them. You know what I mean? They had Ronnie Lester. He was an All-American. They were getting all the national attention, respect from the posters and all of that. And so we were confident going into that game. And I think they had a player, I can't remember all their names, but
Ronnie Lester is the only one I remember. I think.
yeah, it's the only one I remember. He was fast and he was a baller. He was fast, probably one of the fastest guards in the league at that time.
Mhm.
But we should have won the game. We up like 10. Damn, Bebe turned the ball over twice. I'm like, come on, man.
Very
No, one time.
Very uncharacteristically.
Oh yeah, no, that might have been one turnover for the whole year. And how solid Bebe was. And so anyway, I had a great game. I mean, I had 31 points.
We had a great game.
Had a great game, sophomore year. We win that game, we go to the Final Four and play against Louisville with Daryl Duncanstein, Daryl Griffith, and a good friend of mine who passed away, Derek Smith. And,
yes, Derek Smith, rest in peace, yep.
Wally Brown, Ed, missing a thumb, and all these great players, the McCray brothers, and they had a Jerry Ease was a left-handed point guard at the time.
What was the talk in the locker room after?
We were dejected because we know we gave it away. We gave it away.
But did Big John give one of his legendary speeches, or was it one of those things where you just knew and you guys didn't say a lot?
Oh no, he wasn't silent. You
I already know.
I can't use the verbiage on here, but we gave it away. We gave it away, and oh man, it was legendary speech.
Nothing about
how he was. Yeah.
Did he talk about the future at all? And the only reason I bring that up because he was famous for when he was giving future conversations, he'd tell you about who was coming.
Oh yeah, I got help coming in.
So coming.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna take your spot. Was it one of those?
He said, oh yeah, always. Oh, I got a crew coming in next year, and y'all bet not rest. You'll be sitting on the bench. Help is on the way. Help is on the way. That was his thing. Help is on the way. Basically, what he was saying is don't get comfortable. Mm-hmm. Do not get comfortable because you played this year, or always somebody coming behind you.
Always
stay on your game. That's basically what he was saying. Help is on the way. If you're not correct, then you'll be sitting by me.
So that help that was on the way was me.
It was you
and
Fred Brown.
I can't say we really did anything your junior year because
come on, man.
Junior year was rough. It was rough.
When you guys came, our defensive style picked up. Because I was a good defensive player. You were an awesome defensive player. Fred was a hell of a defensive player. Eric Smith could play D. Our backcourt defensive prowess was amazing. And I know we had, big fella in the back. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
well,
he wasn't there yet. He wasn't even there yet. He wasn't there yet.
Yeah, I just want to say
the way we dominated teams and oh God, we had teams couldn't even get the ball up the court.
I remember walking into the locker room, and this was just when the Playboy All-American had just come out.
Oh yeah.
You were Playboy All-American your junior year, and this was when because after your sophomore year, after that NCAA run,
right,
you really your notoriety took on another.
Right. Yeah.
Like you became national.
Right.
Right. And it was no longer just people on the East Coast knew about Sleep.
Right.
So you became a national figure. And I remember walking into the locker room and I'm looking, and you don't know what to do, but you check to do. You're like, okay, that's the barometer right there.
Yeah.
That's the guy that you have to kind of watch what he do, not what he say.
Right.
Watch what he do.
Yeah.
And what I want the people listening to know is, as superstars go, you to me epitomize what a superstar embodies. And you balled with the weakest cat on the team, like you went at him hard,
Yes.
and the dopest
Yeah.
cat on the team, you went at him hard. And
Yes.
I'm a testament to that, because between my sophomore and junior year,
Right.
I'm working in McDonough gym,
Yep.
just trying to work on my bum ass game. I'm working, and who shows up to work out with me
Yes.
but Eric Sleepy Floyd? And I'm thinking to
Yes.
myself, why would he waste his time working out with me? Like,
Right.
but obviously he wanted me to get better, but he
Right.
also knew this guy gonna play D on me the whole time, and
Hard.
this is just
Yeah.
workout.
I don't care who you are. Like, we balling. You know, and the thing, Gene, is like your defensive skills were ahead of its time. We know that. And you were gonna make me better, and I was gonna make you better because I put you through shooting drills.
Oh,
We stayed in there hours, you know, working on your shot, both of us together,
yes.
you know. Then we
Yeah.
break down and play one-on-one.
The one-on-one
Yeah,
full
we're-
court.
One-on-one full court. You got to pick up full court. And then we'll break down, we'll go back to shoot.
Yeah.
And we did that our 2 years there, and we definitely helped one another out, because your shot got better. You started drilling shots when you were open, and you know, your form came together.
Stop lying. Stop lying.
It did. You had the form. It didn't go in all the time, but it looked pretty.
I wasn't shooting them in the game, but you know.
Oh no! Oh, I know. Well, that's a big guy. Wouldn't have that, you know.
Look,
But
I
it did
remember
happen.
it, but the story I remember the most was sophomore year. Remember, I got hurt. I come back the middle of the year. There was no red shirt. Who gonna red shirt? You know,
Yeah, wasn't no red shirt.
I'm not good enough to red shirt. I
Right.
come back that year. We're playing Syracuse at the Capitol Center, and we balling. We
Yeah.
straight balling. And I got back in the rotation a little bit. I had 10 points, 5 steals. But the point I want to make is we're on a break. Sleep has the ball on the break. When Sleep has the ball on the break, go to the basket.
Yes.
You ain't getting that back. That's not coming back. That's either gonna be a nice little loop-de-loop, an and
Yep.
one, or a dunk.
Yep.
I'm just running the lane trying to create space. You give me the ball back. And I'm thinking, if I miss this layup, I'm going to hear about it from this dude. And sure
Yes.
enough, I made the layup. I remember getting up and you said to me, man, I'm glad you ain't missed that goddamn layup. No good shot. You better not have missed that layup.
You got to make it, brother.
But I want people to know, as superstars go, man, you set the example from the rip, and you just did it in a way where, you know, you didn't get talkative until the postseason.
Right.
So I'm jumping forward to your last 2 years, and I'm gonna skip over the junior year because that was, again, I think that was us getting to know each other, and then reality is the real help was on the way.
Right. Yeah. No doubt.
Because that really came, and that 81-82 season again was
Phenomenal.
one for the record books, and I'm on record as saying, to me, you know, that's the best crew.
Yeah, no doubt. And the reason why is, again, I go back to our backcourt defense, man, was incredible. We used to turn guys two and three times before they got to half court. Right. You know, our run and jump was, I remember us going playing St. John's in the Garden.
Whoa.
The halftime score was 41-14.
Remember that?
Remember that? They had Chris Mullen and that crew.
They had a crew.
40-something.
David Russell, Billy Goodwin.
They had David Russell, and they had a crew. We were up halftime, 44, and they were in their team. They might have had 9 points. And I told Chris about that. I mentioned it to Chris. And but that's how our defense was. Then we had big fellas sitting there in the back. If you just so happen to get buys, you don't work so much energy getting the ball up the court. And if y'all get buys, you got big fella waiting back there, Patrick. It was.
Okay, so obviously I'm in the locker room, but what was your relationship with Patrick, his freshman year, your senior year?
Oh, it was good. Now, Patrick say we didn't hang out with him enough. It was me and you. He still
It's hard to
gets
hang out with a 7
man,
footer.
sleepy man. Y'all wouldn't even hang out. But
You said you bring
nah,
too much attention.
yeah, exactly. But our relationship has always been great. You know, we all know what a great person Patrick is, man. You know, people don't know him closely. They have no idea.
Right.
They don't understand, you know, his passion for his friends and especially the people he played with. You know, he's a warrior, you know, and your mentality, my mentality, and it's just Fred Brown's mentality, man. Woof. It was, people don't understand, and I won't even try to convince them. You know what I mean? But that Patrick was a, you know, competitor. I mean, in every sense of the word. And that's why we got along. We competed. You know, when Pat, you know, I tell this story all the time. I say, Coach Thompson, I was the best shooter on the team. Patrick gets there. So Coach Thompson develops this play. I don't know if you remember, Gene. He put this play in where I come off the baseline and I'm supposed to miss on purpose and shoot it right in the front of the rim so he can catch it and dunk it. Now I got to practice the miss. I'm like, you know this dude, the real deal, when the coach diagrams the play, for you to miss the shot in front of the rim as a lob, shoot it right to him in front, and he would go up and dunk it. We had a play like that.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
That's crazy. Think about that.
It's insane, man.
Insane. Yeah. And you know, he would go get it. And so that relationship with Patrick on and off the court, man, I think that's why we all are still close to this day. We don't see each other all the time. It doesn't matter. We finally talk or see each other or talk or text. It's just
and sleep. Boom. This is all I'm trying to do with this little ragtag operation I got here. Is I want to bring our fan base this type of experience. Because
so they understand.
So because I know for a fact I haven't heard your story told enough over the years. And again, the type of superstar you were and are, it's worth noting that you didn't carry it that way. Like you carried it. Again, you came to the gym to work out with me. Like you wasn't looking for the pro to go work out with. No. It was your teammate, and this dude gonna beat me up, and I'm gonna get better. So it's just a tribute to the kind of players that we breed at Georgetown, the kind of men that we breed at Georgetown. So for me, this Hoya Locker Room is okay. For you to better understand what Coach Ewing is all about, let me talk to guys.
That's a great point.
Guys that play with him and also play for him. And let's rally around the Jamaican, as I like to call them. And help in every way that we can. So again, for me, it's like it's the least I can do. And bringing somebody like yourself. Like, I mean, again, I'm taking away from your golf game. I know. And just to have you, man, again, dog, your numbers are freaking insane. Assists, steals, minutes played per game, shot. You running all that. And that's what. Go ahead.
That's why I mean, that's the way Coach Thompson coached us up. You know, and you know, but you got to have that competitiveness inside. You know, I want to beat you, and we're gonna go out to eat together when we walk off the court. You know, no hard feelings. You know, we're gonna argue on the court. You know, we're gonna curse at each other on the court. But when it's over, we walk off. Hey, what we gonna do now? You know,
what's it gonna take for the Jamaican to be successful?
I think
at G-Town.
Well, exactly what you're doing here, having, you know, the players understand what the culture is, understand him, you know, how you have to be successful. You know, one thing, and I work with young kids all the time, you know, I coach at a high school here, and they don't want to compete against one another anymore. Their feelings get hurt too easy, you know. And I had some conversations with Coach Thompson, and they don't play one-on-one against each other anymore.
Mm.
You know, because they don't want to get their feelings hurt, or I mean, and I mentioned that to say, you got to compete. If y'all want to get better, right? If y'all want to get better as a team, I'm talking to all the players that may be listening right now. First thing you got to do is compete against each other. You got to make each other better. You know, if you beat me today, I'm looking for you tomorrow because I want to get you tomorrow. You know what I mean? So how do we help the big Jamaican out is help them instill the culture. And I think what you're doing right here is a big step. You know, it's the first I've seen someone try to do that. So I want to commend you.
Thank you.
On your thought process to put this together and create. We already know that we're family, but we want to make sure they understand the culture. And like you said, that's our role as former players, as alumni, to try to, contribute to that. But Pat's going to be okay. He's going to, it takes time. You cannot walk in a program and change it overnight. And there are going to be some ups and downs, and we definitely had some ups and downs with a few players leaving. So, help is on the way. You got to keep that same mentality, that trust in Patrick that he'll get someone to plug. It's like putting your finger in that water and you take it out, it comes right back up. He has to have that same mentality. So I think giving him time, and Pat's a competitor. I know it kills him not to win.
He's got you. We know it's killing him.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not sleeping at night. We know how he is. And, anything I can do to help out the program, I have done, I continue to do, behind the scenes or whatever, but he can call on either one of us if he needs something.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the behind the scenes, because I think the nature of the program, particularly when we were there, especially when you were there your first 2 years, because
Right.
Big John didn't get there till 72, 73.
Right.
And the times were different, right? And him being the premier Black coach,
right.
Hoya paranoia was real.
It was a real deal, yes.
It was a real deal. He had it set up so it wasn't about to me isolation. And it took me, until I graduated to really understand it.
Really understand it, yes.
Yeah, it's about control. I'm going to control the narrative that comes out of my program.
Right.
Like, exactly. I'm not going to let you just say and do anything you want.
Yeah.
As it relates to my program.
Yeah, you're not going to establish my program for me. This is what we're about.
And you and I both know it wasn't until y'all started winning, and then the Jamaican showed up. Yes. Now the way he's running his program is controversial.
Right.
It wasn't controversial. Wasn't nobody trying to talk to me early in my freshman year. They were trying to talk to the Jamaican way. All of a sudden that rule became a big deal.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
There's no freshman talking but before it wasn't a big deal.
It's always been like that.
It's always been like that. Yeah. And the reason why I say that, because I don't know if you knew, but I didn't know the whole America's Black team until I got out. Like, I didn't know that was really happening.
Yeah.
Did you know that was happening while you were there?
I tell you, once I got into the league, Gene, you have no idea how many players that were already in the league that was following us and rooting for us. When I traveled around the country, I would get stopped in airports. Until this day, I still get stopped in the airport, not about my NBA career. Sometimes that happens, but it's all about Georgetown, man. We had so many followers that we didn't even know about. Ice Cube, all the stars, man. When I would be in LA, they would come up to me. It's amazing. Till this day, they still reach out to me regarding Georgetown.
Sidebar, if they're reaching out to you in this LA, it's because of that 59 you gave them. It's about that record that still stands to this day.
Yeah,
and
no
I
doubt.
love bringing up the story. The record, great. I mean, I expected that from you. I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
But it was the fact you did it at the point.
Yeah.
And the reason why I bring it up the point is because when you were talking about our former coach,
yes,
did he not tell you weren't a point guard?
Oh yeah. Go in there, just shoot it. Pass it back to let Fred Brown bring it up.
Well, was that motivation for you? Like you didn't take that to. That didn't
I
make
didn't take it personal. Hey, I wanted to get better. He was telling me, you're not good enough a ball handler at this point in your career to run my point. That's basically what he was saying.
Right.
To run point for me, you ain't good enough yet. So, when I got to the league, in order to survive, I had to move over to the point because Dr. J became a 2 guard. Marcus John, these guys were 6'8". That's when the conversion was getting bigger. So Dr. J went to 2 guard. Marcus Johnson went to 2 guard. George Gervin Iceman went to 2 guard. Sidney Moncrief, he went from small forward to 2 guard. So Derek Smith was 6'7". So I had to move over and I had to be smart enough and adapt. I got to change my game a little bit if I want to survive in this league or I'll be out the league. You know what I mean? And I had good enough ball skills to play. To me, NBA was easier for me. It was wide open. It was up tempo. I could just go and use my speed and also my shooting ability to really make an impact and make a career out of this. And so I had to adjust, and I led the league in assists 1 year, 2 years. That game you talked about, the Lakers were really cocky, Kareem and Magic and Worthy and
Michael Cooper talking
trash. And,
right.
I was killing them that whole year. I averaged almost 30 on them. And so anyway, he's talking junk. The guys on the bench, they were so cocky. The guys at the end of the bench was talking junk. They weren't even getting in the game. They were talking trash.
Right.
And I just had enough. I said, you know what? I'm going back to my shooting guard. I'm going to show you if I want to, I could take you. I'm just trying to run the plays, keep people, as a point guard,
Right.
Take my shots when they were there.
Yeah. But you blacked out.
I went back to old school.
I don't know where I was watching the game sleep, but I blacked out too. I lost.
Oh, I could imagine you going off. I could see you going off. But it was just that competitive, man. That's how we grew up playing, man. You're gonna challenge me like that, and in that league, you got to gain respect.
So Sleep does, and when I asked you the question about Patrick.
Right.
Georgetown as a coach. For me, it's like if Patrick I just remember him coming in as a freshman and he did not, his learning curve was limited, right? I mean, was small.
Yeah.
And he was so warrior. He was a warrior and so, competitive.
Right.
Can he coach that way in 2020? Are there kids out there that are going to respond to that?
That's a great question. And I don't think he can change his style. I mean, you got to be who you are. And it's up for them to, to recruit players that can handle that.
Are there dogs out there? There are dogs still out there.
They're out there. But you got to get the right players in there that you can challenge, man. You can't, you yell at someone and they go into a shell. It's hard to coach people like that, because you're trying to get the best out of them. Like when Coach Thompson told me I was a point guard, I didn't get all upset. I said, all right, I work on my game. I get in the gym, and I work on my ball handling. Right. So I can play both positions. And that's a great question. And in this day and time, if it was me, I wouldn't change my style, but he's a lot smarter than me. He might have to adjust a little bit.
Right.
But, when you're in the heat of battle, you got to know that, the guy you got on your team is going to do and perform under pressure. Yeah. He can't be nice to you all the time.
That's kind of where I'm at. I'm with you. I think it's incredibly difficult because now kids can bounce around and now they're thinking about making it so they can leave and play in season after they leave. I mean, but for me, it's like, this is where that network comes into play.
Right.
And my challenge to all of us is to find that dog, that person that's lifting up a car somewhere and don't nobody know about.
Right,
You know,
working at the post office like Ed Spriggs was. That's
So
what you got to do.
that's what you got to do. And,
Yeah.
and I do think the whole 4-star, 5-star scenario, like our fan base is so caught up in that.
And that stars, how many stars you got?
And that's not our program.
Right.
Like, I mean, to think a 5-star kid, if he doesn't want to come to Georgetown already,
Right.
then chances of us wooing him to come to Georgetown.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
if
we
he has
don't
his
have-
mind made up.
If because we're not dropping off a bag, right?
Right.
That's not
Yeah.
happening.
That ain't happening.
That ain't happening. We talking about, we talking about culture. We talking about education. We talking
Right.
about an alumni network that needs to be activated more, right?
Right.
Because
Yes.
I challenge our alumni network, like, let our players know once you graduate,
Right.
you got fields of interest,
Yes.
and we need to connect.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
If you got a player going overseas somewhere, Georgetown's a global university.
It is. Yes.
I mean, you've done a better job, or you've done a great job in continuing to network and
Right.
be exposed to professional opportunities.
Right.
As a matter of
Yes.
fact, you can teach a class.
Right. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
'cause
Yes.
you stay
Yes.
busy. And
Yes.
you need, sidebar, you need to give me information on your camp and what
I
you're
will.
doing down there, because I'm trying to promote your joint, but
Okay.
you
I'll
can't be
do it.
sleepy about that.
No, I got you. I got
Okay?
you.
Yeah,
Yes,
'cause,
for
you
sure.
know, I can see people traveling from DC trying to come to your
Right.
camp.
Right. Okay. We'll
Because,
do it.
You know, yeah, let's stay connected that way.
No, love on that for sure.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where I don't think we've maximized the
Right.
Georgetown experience.
Right. Right.
um,
And you're right. It is global. It's a global network. So, letting the kids know, the recruits know, or any way we can communicate that to them.
Yeah.
New York. I mean, golly, we got such a huge network in New York, and
Right.
even here in Charlotte, we got a Georgetown Alumni Association that I'm involved with here.
Dope.
It's a big group. We do events. I put on 3 events for the Georgetown Alumni Association with my company that I work for. We did things around Charlotte
Dope.
with the business. Yeah, we brought in different companies and we put on, happy hour stuff, or when Georgetown games on, we get a restaurant and we do it here in Charlotte. And so we do all kind of networking
Well,
to try to build that name up.
Do me a solid. When you're doing stuff, let me know.
Okay.
So at least, again, it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not like I got a million people
Right,
following.
no,
No,
right.
but it's just one of those things.
Yes.
I can push a button to support my peoples.
There
right?
you go.
Like,
Yes.
I mean, that's the world we live in right now. What we're doing right now wasn't even
Right. No.
possible,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, dog. It's like, I know this is kind of makeshift,
Right.
right? But
No.
someone somewhere that's connected to Georgetown basketball and Georgetown
Right.
hoops should
There
be
you go.
thinking the same thing.
Thinking the same thing. No, that's true. That's
That's it.
true. And it's about the culture, and like you said, how do we get those players? It's not about the stars. Again,
No.
I wasn't a 5-star player. You weren't. Fred Brown and Patrick might have been the 5-star players that came through that program.
Right.
But most of the guys, are competitive. You got to find, as you said, our fan base so caught up into the stars. One thing I would say, you can't go by that.
No.
You got to recruit on the basis of how competitive, what their talent level is. And when you get them in the gym, we don't care about star. You didn't care. I didn't care.
No.
I didn't care about the All-Americans who were already there.
But that wasn't the culture. That
It
wasn't the culture that you
Right.
guys showed me. Or when you walk in there, everybody's going hard.
Everybody's going
The
hard.
practices for me
Right.
were the games, to your point, were like, okay, this is easy.
Yeah.
Right? And it's also more fun. Right?
It's more fun. Yeah, a lot more fun.
Although I will say, when he didn't blow the whistle in practice, that it was pretty good.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was pretty good.
But I think back to your point that this fans or people who follow you, just don't get caught up into the stars. Let Patrick keep recruiting and build his team up. He's looking for the right people, that the kind of people that he wants to coach. They don't have to be 7 feet tall, or it's no real formula to it.
Right.
Just got to get people that want to compete, man. That's when you win.
That to me, because okay, I'll take you and Patrick as okay, my superstars, right? That I played with.
Mm-hmm.
And there are others, but I'm gonna stick with
Yep.
you two for right now. You two for me were different kind of superstars. And I'm only saying that because I had limited exposure in college.
Right.
So I got, Big John hooked it up. So I did the Olympic tryouts in '84.
Right.
So I go to the Olympic tryouts. So now I'm seeing all the dopest cats
Yeah.
in college basketball at that time.
Right.
And what
Right.
I noticed in a very short amount of time was the two superstars that I was used to being around.
Right.
You guys walked a little differently.
Right. Right.
You didn't
right.
have you didn't have all the other dope players walking around with you, or
Yeah.
you just had a different kind of mentality.
Right. Yeah.
And it was like
Yeah.
you had the talent, and then you had the dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, see when we met and we started spending time away from the court and on the court, you know who you connect with. And you had the same mentality I had. Patrick had that mentality. Fred Brown definitely had that mentality. So that's what we got to replenish the program with.
Right. Right.
My battery running low. Let me get my charger.
Well, I know I'm tapping into your golf game, so I'm gonna wrap it up. I just have the only question I have for you is outside of yourself, and I want you to
Right.
bring it. I want you to kind of come forward with it. I don't know how much you watched the team today, right? So I got two questions. The first is, who's your Mount Rushmore at Georgetown?
At Georgetown?
And not you. Obviously, you can't include yourself. And this is
Right.
only about Georgetown. This is not post Georgetown. This is while they were at Georgetown. Who's your Mount Rushmore?
Obviously Patrick. God, there's so many, man. That's a great question. You're making me think.
I know you only get picked 4, and I only say this because that's the point. There's so many.
There's so many, man.
And if you don't want to choose, you don't have to. I'm good with it. We can move.
So many.
It's so many. Smart man. You're a politician. I love it.
Yeah.
It's because of you I majored in government, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Sleep was a government major, and I was trying to figure out what am I going to major in.
I remember us talking about that. Yeah.
You pulled me to the side and said, young fella, let me hit you with this, man. If you do this government joint, you can do the law school if you want, slip in there. You can, you business will be real easy for you.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn how to maneuver. You're gonna learn about the systems and the institutions.
Policy.
I thought this dude could only ball.
No, man. No, I tell you,
I appreciate it.
We got a great education at Georgetown, and I'm telling you, man, as you know, once we got out, we realized the impact of it. Sometime when you're there, you don't realize.
And I realized sooner than you did. I realized sooner than you did, because you had what was your NBA career? 16 years?
13.
13. So
13,
you had 13 years to kind of,
right.
You were still doing your other job.
Right. But see, what I did when I was in the league, I did things differently than a lot of players. So when I traveled to different cities, I would reach out to alumni. I would go to those little art shows and stuff, just different kind of stuff I would do, because I would connect with different alumni in different cities. So, try to build up some relationships I still have today from my NBA career, taking advantage of it. So,
okay.
it's just
if Patrick is listening, or Pat Jr. is listening, Sleep is our new chief operator of alumni relations for the men's basketball team. You need not look any further. He was doing it in the 80s.
Oh man, this is great. This is great.
Sleep, you and I both know the way Big John ran it, it wasn't necessarily set up for us to benefit from that alumni experience.
Mm-hmm.
You, on the other hand, didn't wait for that. You, on the other hand, didn't need a course. You didn't need a helping hand. You took the initiative yourself.
Right.
And what I'm suggesting is that was 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We should have improved on that by now.
Right, exactly.
On some level.
Right.
So it's just one of those things where Georgetown, the brand is too powerful.
Yes.
For us not to connect those.
Take advantage of that.
Take advantage of that. So that's one of the things where I hope Patrick, because I know you and Patrick are still connected.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. Maybe he can have you come back. You know when the former players used to come back, we used to dread that because I used to watch you. I used to watch you. Big John would bring the former players to come back, and we'd be looking like, man.
Oh man,
what this dude talk? What this old dude talking about?
What's this old dude talking about? I know it. We'd be laughing.
But every now and then you hear something that made sense, right? Or something that impacted you.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're NBA Hall of Famer than me. They need to catch up.
Right.
They need to catch up.
Yes.
But you coming in the gym, dropping that knowledge, maybe it would be more impactful. I do think kids today have so many distractions that
they do. Yeah.
I mean, you get in where you get in, right?
Yes. Well, with Instagram and all the different avenues for social media, they're busy.
They're busy.
Building brands. We weren't thinking about a brand. Right. We were just thinking about surviving. Being able to get on the court and play, and times change. We got to change with the times, and I think it's great that they have so many avenues for success to be successful now, which we didn't have. And like you said earlier, it's up for them to take advantage of it. Use that network. On Instagram and the other social media platforms, reach out to some other alumni. Even while you're in school, start building those relationships.
That's the key thing, what you just said, because you and I both know it's only human nature. Once we leave, you got a new batch coming in. Yeah. Your exposure is while you're there.
It is.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's huge, right? So setting up avenues where we could maximize that, I just think it's a win-win for the university. Man, I can't, man, this is love. This
no
is
doubt.
Love, man.
Big love.
This guy here for me, you just mean so much on so many levels, though. Like, this is one guy I don't have to talk to in a year, and it's just like we pick right back up.
No doubt.
He might not call you right back, but he'll get to you. He's a little busy. Is there anything you want to talk about that you're doing now, or?
No, I like to keep the focus on the program, and I just think, as far as Patrick goes, I think he's doing a tremendous job, and I'm not biased or not. I mean, I'll tell the truth. I think he's doing a great job. He's gonna turn our program around. He's already turning the program around. We're in the process. Of getting back to where we think we should be. And they got no harder worker than their head coach. There's nobody's going to work harder. There's nobody's going to outwork him. And he's going to do it. I got faith in him. I know you do. And to your fans and of your show, which I think is great.
I don't have no fans, Sleep.
You got fans. You just don't know it. You got them. And people that's listening, that we want to convey, just support Patrick and support the program. It don't have to be financially. It can be, like I say, behind the scenes, any way you can to benefit the program. And I talked to Patrick, pretty regularly, and you know, he's working hard. You know, every time I talk to him, he's in the gym, he's working, he's on calls, you know, he's getting it done. So we'll be back.
Okay. Last thing, Mr. Gastonia, North Carolina. Last thing. How would you describe your mentality as a scorer? What was your mentality?
My mentality, if I'm someone going up against someone, say someone like Michael Cooper or yourself, you know, great defensive players, that I didn't want to be defeated. I figured I could score. I never thought that I would not score. You know, I know I didn't score all the time, but my mentality is attack, attack, attack. You know,
Attack.
and just attack. Stay aggressive, and you know, don't shy away from the moment. You know, want the moment to come to you. You know, live for that moment.
Yeah. The attack.
Yeah.
The attack is
Yeah,
personal.
yeah.
That was you. You just attack.
Yeah, just attack, compete. Defensive, I wanted to stop you. It's not just on the offensive end. That mentality was, if I can pick you up full court, if I can stop you from scoring on me, that's a win too, as you know, your mentality.
Right.
You know, so it's just that competing, wanting to win. You know, give it your all. Don't leave anything out. And so, you know, we hear it all the time. Don't leave anything out on the court.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's true. Don't leave anything. You know, don't come out again. Oh man, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. You know,
Right.
make sure you give 10% effort. And that's what we did. And Coach Thompson was really the driver of that. I mean, obviously he recruited guys like us, but you know, he was a tough SOB, and in a good way and with much love. I say that, you know, that
Well,
he got the best out of us, and
Right.
he had our back, man. I mean, stuff that he did for us behind the scene as players,
Yeah.
you know, going to bat for us. I remember before you got there, and Coach Thompson, you know, the media was coming out, and we was just all black team coming to this national scene. They was trying to call us thugs and this and that and the other. And he wasn't having it. So he was fighting a fight behind the scenes, you know, when we were there. So I do want to mention that. And also, hey, go Hoyas.
Go Hoyas.
Yes.
Much love, man. Have a great golf
appreciate
game
it.
today. We'll stay in
Love
touch.
you, brother.
For sure. Love you, man.
Let's do it.
All right.
Thank you.
Go.